Good morning. So I haven't made a video in a minute as far as a construction video because I was in Africa. I'm sorry. Also, I've been busy. I was acting in something, and that was a lot of fun. But we are in the dry, which means that siding's on, roof is on, windows and doors are in, so water does not get into the house. We've got our plumbing, rough plumbing done. So first remember we did we brought in the sewer tap, and that was a bunch of fun. Then before we poured the slab, we did all the PVC pipes. Then once the slab is poured, then you kind of come up and you do all your PEX and all your rough plumbing, and then at the end, once sheetrock's up and everything, then you do your top out, your final. But this house right now, tomorrow they're gonna put heat and air in, and I'm super excited about that. That's Bob Cameron. We're gonna talk to him tomorrow because he's amazing. But this house right now is pre-wired for wireless. And by that I mean, there's blue boxes around, and that's where the outlets and stuff are gonna go. But there's no wires in it because it's wireless. Also, another fun fact, did you know that it never snows on the sun? Not even on the North Pole of the sun. And one last thing, never trust a girl who was born on her birthday. Now you know. We're filming.
Oh, we're good.
So you guys probably sitting at home in whatever country you're in, whatever state you're in, and whatever time you actually watch this are probably cold. I know I am. Are you cold?
It is cold this morning, yes.
But
yes.
We have a solution. Are you ready for this? Go stand in the corner. It's 90 degrees.
Oh.
No, just kidding. It's a real solution, okay? And this solution, Bob Cameron does amazing heat and air work. And maybe you're like, it's so uncomfortably cold or hot, fill in the blank, outside. He can fix that for you using nothing more than magic and science and hard work.
That's right. Very little money. Yeah.
He's actually incredibly affordable. So I've known Bob for 26 years now, and he's been doing my heat and air for 26 years now. And there's never been a time I'm like, I'm so disappointed in you, Bob. You didn't do what you said you were going to do, and you were unfair on your price. Never.
Thank you.
Not one time.
Yes.
He's pretty much an amazing guy. He's got lots of tips for you. What you got? Anything?
You know, anything that we do, we kind of stand behind our work, you know, and that's why John relies on us.
That's true, sir.
You know, we're going to be honest and tell you the truth.
That's true, sir.
Whether it's hard to swallow or not. And so we do take care of you as far as getting out there as quickly as possible, getting the job done, completed as quickly as possible, and in the best possible manner.
All that's true. I was looking for a different kind of tip. Like, for example, I found out recently that cashews, contrary to popular belief, are not filled with cash. Do you have any tips like that?
My mind does not think quite like that, but I do have a tip. You know,
sure.
Keep your air filters clean. That will save your equipment as much as possible. Yes, change your air filter.
Is that like picking your nose, but for your air conditioning system?
Pretty much. It's comfortable. Yeah, makes things a little more comfortable. Let you breathe a little bit better.
Get the boogers out.
Yeah.
I hate when my nose smells like boogers. It's horrible. Also, I recently found out, and kiss me if I'm wrong here, that Navy SEALs are not actually SEALs. They're people. Did you know this?
I kind of figured that one out pretty easy.
You are so much smarter than me. I don't even know what to say. All right, so probably in about 28 minutes, Bob's gonna have this whole thing done and ready for us, and we'll be like trudging along like, la-di-da, I guess we'll do some work or whatever.
My guys will get in and get after it.
It's a true story. They're amazing, and if it's hot, it doesn't matter. If it's cold, it doesn't matter. They're amazing people.
Yeah, no matter what the weather, we'll do it.
Kind of like the post office, only the post office gave up for COVID. Love you, Ryan. So maybe you're thinking to yourself, I need to get a wire through this top stud down here, but how do I get it and not put some big gaping hole? Well, here's the answer. You have somebody else do it for you. So, Tuck put this wire down the wall, and then Josh is over here, and he's bent some solder, and he's going to fish it out of there. Because he's a genius. Let's see if this works. We don't know. He tried to go fishing earlier today.
With no luck.
How'd that go? Not so much. If he gets this, it will be probably one of the most amazing things that's happened since he got here and started trying to fish this thing out of the wall. Now, what was the saying that you had earlier?
What did we say? Are you talking about the obstacle illusion?
Yeah, well,
you gotta elude the obstacles.
the obstacle illusion.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it. Let's be beautiful stuff. So these guys put in all the heat and air at the other house, the new house, today, but then my house was right around the corner, and I had to have them official wire through here because they're awesome.
Sounds like you got it. No? No?
No?
Is it on the, yeah, the other one?
It is.
I was gonna say, I thought I heard that.
You got it? Remember those?
No? Why not?
Maybe it's just an optical illusion. That's how you say it?
Yeah, obstacle illusion.
It's beautiful.
Oh,
Oh. I thought we were gonna have to give up and do a take two. But alas, no take two. Just a take one. Need some needle nose or something?
yes.
I don't have any.
Oh,
What?
Oh.
it's right there.
What in the... Yep, look at this. This guy.
You gonna be able to get back in there with that sword?
Oh, he's got it.
Yeah.
Don't you
Oh,
worry.
yeah.
If there's one thing he's good at, it's everything. Tell him. And that's how it's done, son. Now you learn. See, not some big ginormous hole, just the power of your mind, and also a little hook that you made out of some solder. There you go. All right, love you too, bye. So, a lot of you are probably sitting there thinking to yourself, how do you wire up a circuit and what does that mean? How do you wire up a breaker box and a breaker and things like that? So I'm gonna dumb this down for you. I had my electrician come do this and he explained it to me in full detail so that now I can explain it to you. All right, so this is your breaker box, okay? This looks like a mess right now because we're still missing some breakers, but you've got a hot coming in. This is from the telephone pole, and then another hot coming in. It's actually underground wire, but whatever. And then you got a neutral coming in. This is not energized yet, that's why I can touch it. If you're wondering what will hurt you, this right here, so this connects to this breaker, at which point it brings power back to the back of this panel, and it's every other one, and so that's 110, and then this makes it 220, right? So then if one of these hits two, if it's this side and this side, then it's a 220, okay? This is your neutral, or sorry, this is your ground bar. You can see all your ground wires are in here, and there's a ground wire that goes outside to an actual ground rod that goes 10 feet into the ground. That's why it's called a ground. Your neutral comes, this is your neutral bar. As you can tell, your neutral and your ground are connected, so that's normal, okay? So then from there, let's say you got a single breaker, like this 20 amp, okay? And then so the ground goes here, the neutral goes here, and the black comes up and goes onto the breaker. So the power comes up through here and breaker's off, but then once you turn it on, then it goes up here. Okay, so we're gonna follow that. Now imagine, this is how a circuit works, okay? So that breaker, imagine just one breaker, and it comes up through here, right? So we got one wire that's coming up through here. Come on. And then this wire comes in through here, okay? So you got power coming in, and then you got power going out, and that power goes to this outlet over here. Then that power comes over to this outlet over here. Then it comes out to this outlet over here. Then it comes around to this outlet. Then to one outside that hasn't been, the hole hasn't been cut yet. Then around over to here, and then over to there, and then up to a single light in the closet. Okay, and so how does the switch part work? You're like, how does all this work, right? So on an outlet, I don't have one with me, you got two, like, you have a neutral and a hot, a black and a white. But then you can have a bunch of them in there. Like you could put a mess of them in there on either side and it would still work. But how does the switch work? Okay, so your whites you bypass, your neutrals you bypass, and you twist those together, and then you put a wire nut on it, and then push that in the back of the box, okay? Your grounds, you twist those together, and then this is one for each switch, right? And then the way that we mark these go to the lights is we kind of twist them like this. And so then this is a hot coming in and a hot coming out, right? So these would go to one side of each side of the switch, and then you tie these together, right? And so then this side would be hot, at which point you bring your hot power in and then back out to the outlets. And so then all the other outlets still have hot power. But this will be on another side of the switch, and when you turn that switch on, then it connects this power to the light, and then the light turns on, or to the fan, and the fan turns on. And that is, in the simplest possible way, how a breaker works and how a switch works and how a circuit works, right? So usually you want to do 8 to 12 on average openings per circuit, but it really depends on a lot of things. So probably a lot of you should not be wiring things, but in case some of you are curious and you're just like, hey, how does that work? I've never seen a house opened up. That's how it works. All right, love you guys. Hope you have a great day. How are you guys doing? So first of all, last week I got to do some acting. I had a lot of fun, but it reminded me about something, and it reminded me that I want to talk to you guys about lenses, okay? But speaking of lenses, who's behind that lens right there? Oh, it's Kenny! We love Kenny! Kenny's here today. So we did a bunch of caulk around the house, and we did some stuff inside the house that needs, touching up or whatever. But it's looking beautiful. I think it might rain tomorrow, but real soon we're going to paint the outside. We're going to build a deck up front, and we're real close to being able to get inspection. And then once we get it drying, then it's going to go really fast. So that's exciting. Lenses. I want to explain to you guys a couple things about lenses. Projection lenses. Maybe a lot of you don't do projectors, but I've done tons of them. Kenny, you've done tons of them too, right? And so maybe you're like, how do you do the math on this? Let me explain it to you real simple, okay? So let's say that you've got a zoomable lens, which means it can have, it's zoomable, right? So that's pretty simple. And it's, we're gonna round it. Normally it's a 1.4 to 1.9, but we're gonna call it 1.5 to 2. So let's say that you're 10 feet wide, which no screens are 10 feet wide. They're all way bigger. You would take 10 feet times whatever your lens is, 1.5 to 2, and you would go, okay, well then I can come back 15 to 20 feet and I can fill a 10-foot wide screen. Does that make sense? You understand it, right? So you probably get in the middle of that, like 17 feet 5 inches or 6 inches, and then from there you would have some play as far as how that works. Now there's also fixed lenses, okay? So a 0.8 lens is a short throw lens. It's usually pretty wide and very expensive, like 5-6 figure expensive kind of thing, and it only has a certain focal depth, right? So you would say, if I want a 10-foot wide thing, I can come back 8 feet, but I can't come back 7.5 feet, and I can't come back 9 feet. I have to be 8 feet dead on, because that's where that focus point is, right? And that's where it will look clear. Everywhere else it's not. And you can fine tune a little bit, but you can't like zoom it past that length, which is interesting because it's something that is very specialized, but works. Okay, so then what about camera lenses? Maybe you got a camera lens that does a 12 times zoom, or it does a 20 times zoom, or a 36 or a 60 times zoom, like a sports lens. What does that mean? Like in real life, what does that mean? I'll tell you. Let's say that you want to get a 3-foot wide shot. Okay, so in real life, you want a 3-foot wide shot. So this big, if you got a 12 times zoom, you can get back 36 feet and zoom in to a 3-foot wide shot. If you want to get a 1-foot wide shot, you can get a 1-foot wide shot, like just a face. And if it's 12 times zoom, you get 12 feet back and you'll be able to get a 1-time zoom. If it's a 60 times zoom, you can go 60 feet back and get a 1-foot wide shot. Or if it's a 3-foot wide shot, you can get 180 feet back and get a 3-foot wide shot. So that's what that means on lensing. So why in the world am I talking about that? Because our eyeballs are made out of potato chips and peanut butter and pizza and Diet Coke, right? And yet our eyeballs can do all of these things, minus zooming, all these things. I can see something right in front of my face in focus. I can see something miles away in focus, and everything in between in focus. And I can see it all the way around me and in 3D. And that's pretty cool. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about. So Kenny, when I said 3D, he's like, but John, in real life, you're a cartoon character. So you're very two-dimensional. And this kind of made me cry because a lot of times the truth hurts. So Kenny surprised me this morning. Me and my electrician were wiring up the record box, and we got that done. Thank God, he was so helpful. And then Kenny showed up and it was raining, and I was like, we're not gonna paint today like we thought. And then, as Kenny called me, the rain went away and he's like, it's dry. And then we painted the whole house, 2 coats, plus all the trim. Not bad for a couple of white guys. All right, so I was talking to a friend of mine last night. She reminded me of a story. She is about to do something that is a big deal to her, and it's a big deal to anybody. She's doing some stuff with some A-list actors and so on and so forth, and was like, I don't know, this is kind of out of my league, and what kind of advice do you have for me? I've got advice for her. I gave it to her. She felt better, and now it's for you too. So when I was 18 years old, I got a job at a sawmill up in Washington State. Keep in mind, I couldn't drive a car yet, right? I built my first house before I could drive a car, because I'm stupid. Because I didn't want to buy anything I couldn't pay cash for, so I waited till I could afford to buy a car, and then I bought it. Anyway, so I get a job at the sawmill, and I show up, and I'm like, man, this is a huge place. I don't understand any of this stuff. I'm very young, I'm very naive and stupid, inexperienced. There's a lot of people. And then they say, you're a pretty smart guy. We want to train you how to do every job in the sawmill, and you can be a floater. Let's start with forklift. I'm like, oh. So I don't know how many of you guys have driven forklifts before, but there's a gas pedal and there's a brake and then there's a clutch brake. And the clutch brake, you push in the clutch brake when you want to hit the gas, but just like raise the forks up or whatever, or you know, tilt them or whatever you want to side shift. So on this particular forklift, we had to go across 30 sets of railroad tracks with unbanded lumber, and then lift it up, and then we push in the clutch brake and then lift it, then and you let off the clutch brake, then the whole forklift would go run, 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 and just like seize all over the place. Then I had to go back up across 30 sets of railroad tracks and then come back around and then raise all the way up, not an inch, you know, lower, but all the way up, come in, lower down, side shift over. I had like 2 inches on either side, side shift over, and then land between two rolls, and then it would go off to the stacker and it would get stacked over there. And so this guy that was teaching me, his name was Heck, short for Hector. Now Heck had ridden in the rodeo a lot. He was young too, and he got kicked in the head by a bull, and so he had kind of this look on his face, and and he dipped, so he was like, and he was not a good teacher at all. And he's just like yelling at me all the time. You're so dumb. How can you be so dumb? Just do it this way, idiot. You know, stuff like that. I went home. I had dreams that night about moving stuff around in my bedroom with the forklift and trying to get it through the door. And the door is only, you know, 30 inches wide. And then I was like, I should give up. That's what I should do. This is beyond my realm of expertise. I should give up and be just a laborer and an idiot for the rest of my life. I don't know what in the world I'm doing thinking about I could do this. And I show up to work like, well, I said I'd be here, so I'm going to be here. And as I walk in the door, here's Heck. And I'm like, it just dawned on me, like, wait a minute. Heck can do this. If Heck can do it, I can do it. I am not going to be outdone by this clown. And so I learned how to drive forklift, and I learned how to do everything else in the sawmill. And every time since then that I've been like, man, I'm outside of my comfort zone. You know, this is too big for me. I'm a dropout, an idiot, and all, which is all true. I look around in this industry and I'm like, where is Heck? It's kind of like, where's Waldo? Where's Heck? And I look around, I'm like, there he is, dumb as a rock, got this look. And I'm like, if that dude can do it, I can do it. I am not going to be outdone by him. And so my word of advice to you and to my other friend is, when you start a new job and you're like, how can I possibly do this job? It's so hard. Look around, and Heck is around there, and somehow he's made it there. And somebody has to be the dumbest person, the least experienced person, the person that everybody hates on the job. And don't be that guy or girl. But if they can do it, you can do it. All right, so that's my encouragement. I'm gonna go see my friend Chris Osborne play tonight, Saving Yesterday in Burleson. So if you guys wanna come out there and say hi to me, then that's where I'm gonna be. The house looks beautiful. We're so excited. We're almost ready for a inspection for a dry-in, and then after that it's going to go really quick. We're going to do spray foam installation, sheetrock, tape, bed, texture, paint, and then cabinets, floors, and we're going to be done. So, and we're going to put a deck on this probably on Monday or Tuesday up on the front, which is going to be super beautiful. So anyway, love you guys. Have a great day. Bye. Good morning and happy Monday to you. So I realize I've been pretty slack about making videos, and I'm sorry. We've been doing things that are illegal, so I can't show you. Just kidding. Anyway, so we're gonna build a deck this morning, and that's gonna be one of the things that we do today. So we're gonna come out here, it's 40 feet by 6 feet. We're gonna make a deck and then put a little rail around there. I think it's gonna make a nice accent. We'll probably stain that like a dark color. So we're excited about doing that. And I'll probably show you step by step-ish how we get that done. So I've got a challenge for you guys this week, and that is, I want you to try to do something nice for somebody, but, and hear me out on this, try not to get caught. Okay, that's not like, hey, I did something nice and I showed everybody, like, hey, look at me giving homeless people money. Don't do that. Don't be like, hey, I did something nice for you and I told you and everybody else and I got a bunch of credit for it. Don't do that. Just do something nice for somebody quietly and hope that they don't catch you doing that, and see how much better your week is. So yeah, that's my challenge for you. Also, I want you to think about this, and this is very important. If you wait for your waiter, you become a waiter. Think about that. Speaking of waiters, my waiter slammed my food down. He's like, "You got served." So, step number 8. First, we got to anchor, in this particular case, we're going to anchor into this concrete all the way around and get a board that's going to take half the weight. So the way that we do that, this is called a hammer drill. This is a Bulldog. This thing's about 250 bucks. These bits last forever, for years. You can just drill and drill and drill and drill. So it's got just a drill setting or just a hammer, like if you want a chipping hammer, or a hammer drill. And so that it spins and it hammers at the same time. So I'll show you. I pre-drilled that so you wouldn't have to listen to the whole thing because it's horrible. All right, then we put these anchors in. They're 4 inches long, they're sleeve anchors, and when you hammer them in, then these things expand and they're tight. So right now, well, can't really tell, but that has some movement to it. But once we take this thing and anchor it in, that thing sucks right up, right? So that's what you want. Now we're gonna dig some holes, and then we're gonna have our post for our rail all the way around, and it's gonna be amazing. I don't know, what do you think? Yeah, we probably do need a rail. Have you guys ever noticed how many towns are named after their water towers? Like you look and you're like, that water tower says Kennedale, and you're like, and they named the town Kennedale after the water tower. That's weird. A lot of you guys were named after me. Anybody that's younger than 47 was definitely named after me. All right, so obviously we anchored in, we've dug these in 3 feet into the ground, and then we built this structure, and they're on 16-inch centers. So then we're gonna put our top pieces on, and we're using 5/4 on this, which means it's 1 1/4 before it's planed, and that's 1 inch after it's planed. So 2x6s are actually, they start off 2 inches, and then they're planed down, they're 1.5 inches wide. So that's pretty interesting. It's all pressure treated, which matters. Pressure treated means that they have this stuff, I don't know what it is, copper something, copper oxide, I'm making that up. And they, with pressure, like inject all that in there and saturate the wood, and so it's guaranteed for life against rot and decay. And anywhere that you cut and you look inside the wood, it's all green all the way through. So that's pretty interesting, and then bugs won't eat it and it won't rot. So beautiful stuff. Anyway, pretty soon we're gonna have this, we're gonna cut all these rails off. They all look different sizes right now, but we went higher than we need to everywhere. And then we're gonna chalk a line, and we'll cut all those off and then get all that to the same size. So this should look pretty beautiful. All right, guys. You guys wanna hear a construction joke? Sorry, I'm still working on it. All right, so as you can tell, we put the tops on here, which is really great. We need to go get materials for the rail and for the bottom of the skirt and for the step, and that's gonna really finish it out. Obviously, we're gonna get some stain too. We're probably not gonna stain it today because the sun doesn't have much more time until it goes away, because it's still winter time here in Texas. I want to talk about the fact that nobody likes a winner who gloats, and nobody likes a sore loser. So no matter how you fight, no matter how you play the game, no matter whether or not you win or lose, make sure that you do it with humility and grace, and don't make a big scene. Because if you lose and you're like, oh, boo-hoo, this is everybody else's fault except for mine, not helpful. Nobody likes that. Also, I feel like this person wants to talk to me. Maybe they just want to stare. It's probably a drive-by compliment. We get a lot of drive-by compliments. So what that means is we've had people on this house that drive by, they slow down, and then out their window they yell, "You're doing a really great job on that house," and then they keep driving. Or we had somebody else who were like, "You're putting that house up really quick," and we're like, "Thank you very much." This also happened, I don't know, like a decade ago or something like. Yeah, it was about a decade ago. We were working in Watauga, and there was a house that burned down. And so same thing, they slowed down at the corner, and we're like, uh-oh. And then they rolled down their window, and they're like, "You're doing a great job on that house." And then they kept driving. I'm like, thank you, I think. Anyway, so nobody likes a sore loser. Nobody likes a winner that gloats. Don't make a big thing out of it. Tomorrow you could be the winner. Tomorrow you could be the loser. Just be nice. Just be nice to people. It's not that hard. So anyway, we're going to get some rail and stuff like that, and we'll be back. So we on purpose did not finish last night because it started getting dark, and I wanted to kind of show you something I thought was cool. So as you can see over here, we've got most of the deck done, minus just this little bit here. So we got the thing skirted, we got the little rail going on and everything. But I thought this was pretty cool. So you always want to have a template. A template makes things easier for you, right? So we found that we got a 4x4 up here and a 4x4 on the bottom. We put these boards in. Now shoot it, and then we do the next one, right? So makes, oops, that didn't shoot very good. We'll do the next one. Normally, I have my helper hold this other board. It makes my life a lot easier. right now my helper's holding the camera, so that makes it a lot harder. So that's how that looks, and it really makes it go quick, and it finishes it off nicely. We're gonna have to cut some more here in a second to finish this thing off. Thought you guys would like that. All right, so and it looks like they were made for each other. So I was thinking about other things that were made for each other, and one of the things I've heard about, I haven't seen it in real life, is there's a certain kind of hummingbird, and this hummingbird has a special kind of beak that's long and kind of curved, and the only kind of flower that hummingbird can get nectar from is this specific flower that has a it has a flower that's made that way, and no other bird can get in there and get that nectar, and no other. So the hummingbird is made for the flower, and the flower is made for the hummingbird. And I just think that's pretty cool. So they're both very rare, but when they find each other, obviously, I mean, you know, the hummingbird is finding the flower, but then it helps to pollinate that, which then lets there be more hummingbirds. So I thought that was pretty cool. So something else I think is cool, and maybe it's a mystery for you guys, is that every one of us has a hole inside of us, like a hole inside of our heart. And we're all yearning to get that hole filled. We're like, what is it that's missing inside my heart? What is it that makes me feel like this? And so all of us try to fill that hole with all kinds of things. We put drugs in there, we drink, we try to make more money, we try to work harder, we try to have sex with everybody that we can. And nothing seems to fill that hole. In fact, it seems like the more that we put those things in the hole, the bigger the hole gets. And that's because that hole is a God-shaped hole. And the reason that hole is there is because we pushed him out in the first place, and he's the only thing that can fill that hole for us. But the good news is that he's never more than an arm's length away, because we're the only ones that can push him out. So invite Jesus back into your heart and get your life right and find yourself happy again. All right, guys. We're here building today. We got all the trim paint done on deck. I'm staying on the deck. Today we got a green tag. But Ray Snyder's here with Amen Gutters. And tell me, these are seamless gutters, right?
These are seamless 5-inch OG gutters.
So
they're pretty standard.
The question then is,
them with hidden hangers.
Where are the seams on these things for the seams?
At the corners.
The seams are at the corners, but I thought it was seamless.
Well, when you can do a seamless at a corner, you'll run the industry.
That's fair. Okay. So
the only seamless is sectional gutter that's been soldered.
Oh.
That makes it seamless.
But right now it's not.
Then it's all metal everywhere.
So right now
you're the same thing, except for we just have heavy duty caulk.
So basically you're lying. Is that what you're saying?
I say seamless from corner to corner.
Okay, you know what, I'll allow that. But my next question, and this is super important.
Well, it's like government officials. We could call them prostitutes
or
just horse, you know, either one.
I guess they're both appropriate, right? So my next question is, how many people's minds do you put in each one of these gutters that you install?
How many minds?
Yeah, because I know a whole lot of people that their minds are in the gutter.
I put just mine here and show them how to do it.
Okay, so then other people, that's their own business, how they want to do it.
You know, when you're installing gutter, you need to think about gutter.
Yeah, that's fair. So you keep your mind in it. All right, is there anything else that you want to talk about? What do you believe in?
We love John, and we love Jesus.
That's a good combination. Not the John part so much, but the Jesus for sure. John's kind of an idiot.
We like John.
That's fair. You know, like is a good word. It's not too strong. So what do you think is interesting?
So we'll measure this, and then we'll poke our hole.
Yeah. Oh, you got notes or something? Look at that.
Yeah.
Did your engineer draw these up?
Yes.
That's cool. Yeah, my engineer is very similar. He looks like it looks like maybe a chicken just kind of was trying to, he pooped and he got ink and then he like tried to cover his poop up on the paper. That's what my stuff looks like. All right, anything else to talk about, Trey?
That's it, man. You might want to record this right here.
Okay.
And then do it in slow motion when it's coming down.
That is, how do you do that so fast? Is there some kind of magic? Oh, it's a magic one, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks better when it's going.
Yeah, like a snake. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, and then if somebody wants to get in touch with you, then you do gutters for everybody, right?
214-641-5021. Amen Gutter Systems. Gutter that lasts until Jesus comes back.
Which
I'm out of the gutter business when he comes back.
That may be sooner than later. All right, let me. So, yesterday we got an inspection, and that makes me very happy. I also stained this deck. We got gutters in. That also makes me very happy. So, welcome to my new house. As you can clearly see, you walk in to the living room. There's going to be 4 switches here. They will go to a fan and a light, outside lights, and then we got can lights all in here. We're gonna we got doorbell, obviously. We got outlets all the way around, everywhere. We got outlet up high for a TV set, so you can put your TV set up here. Let's see what else. The doorbell's gonna come up in here. This is for me later, so I don't forget where I put my doorbell wire. Then here's a master bedroom, pretty good size, 16 by 16. Come on, Lincoln. Here will be a vanity. Here will be another vanity with plenty of room behind it. Then we got a jacuzzi tub. Who doesn't love a jacuzzi tub? We'll have an access panel on the front. Here's a shower that has 2 shower heads and a bench. It will be beautiful. And in here, a person can make number 1 or number 2. I guess maybe even number 3 or 4 if you want to. Then in here, we have his and her closets. This is 16 feet by 10 feet, so pretty good size. And then if we walk around this way, what else do we see? Oh, let's just say you're over at somebody's house, this house, and then they're like, I need to go to the bathroom. You're like, don't worry, we got a half bath for you. It's got a toilet and a sink. Good enough. Don't take any showers, but you know, whatever. Then we've got our nice kitchen right in here. So it's a fridge, pantry, cabinets, dishwasher, sink. It's Lazy Susan's stove with that microwave, and then more cabinets, and then counters that come out past over here, granite counters, obviously. And then on the other side of that, you've got room for either a desk or whatever, and then for another desk if you wanted 2 different office spaces and a good-sized dining room. And here, we've got a water heater, washer and dryer, and then a utility room. So there'll be some shelves and rods and things like that in there. And then you've got a bedroom with a walk-in closet, a bedroom with a walk-in closet, and a bedroom with a walk-in closet for 4 bedrooms total. And then another bathroom, there's a tub, shower, toilet and sink, and obviously a garage out here. And that's where the breaker box is out there. And then let's go to the backyard real quick. This is a cool feature. How does this work? Oh, I want to be able to see out my blinds? No, I want to be up with my blinds. I love them. And then back here, we've got a 16-foot by 8-foot back porch with a fan and a light, and a big backyard because it's a half acre. So that's what we've got. And we got gutters up yesterday, and that makes me super happy. Lincoln, you want to talk about anything funny? Inspiring? What's inspiring you these days?
Money.
Huh? Money?
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
No, I mean, is there anything else that inspires you besides money?
God.
At the end of all time, there will only be 3 things that will be remembered. What are they? The discovery of fire, when men walked on the moon, allegedly, and us building this house. That's it. Okay, bye. So, we're working on that gazebo pool house, but we stopped by my house to get something that we needed. And Billy Feaster's guys came in yesterday, and spray foamed my whole house. So look at this. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Like one great big igloo cooler. And as you can see, like, it's so much warmer. I don't know if you can tell how temperate it is in here, but it is wonderful. And here, come on over here too. So you're probably thinking to yourself, how did they do this with a garage? Well, they just spray foam these walls, and then up in here in the attic, and then I'll show you on the other side. See, then the garage doesn't need to be insulated because that doesn't make sense because you got a garage door. But then this stuff is, and it's 5.5 inches thick, solid spray foam insulation. It is truly amazing. So I could not be happier with Billy Feaster and his people. If you ever need spray foam done, sheetrock, tape, bed texture, that's your dude.